Tell us about the bowl that was found on Signal Hill.
Yeah, I can. There was like a pumice bowl. It's a different shape here, but it's a twin fish head bowl. And back in, I think it was back in '71, I was walking on the stretcher one day there, and an elder guy is trying to give me this bowl. And I was, after my dad told me about the smallpox, I kind of stepped back and I said, no, just do something else with it. And he didn't know what to do with it, so I said, well, I'll put it in a museum, maybe we'll get it later. And so it's in a Vancouver museum there, and it's a twin fish head bowl. And that represents the Salmon brothers that trained way at the headwaters of the Lil'wat River there. They trained there for 4 years, and as they came down, they started putting the names as they came down and the stories there, and they went right down to the ocean and they came back there. And those were the Salmon brothers. And that was a salmon, the twin salmon fish bowl that was found there. That's what it represents, yeah.
And that was one of the first significant finds in the archaeology world in the Pemberton area, wasn't it?
That was one of them there. James Tate found one bowl down the mouth of the Lil'wat Lake there, and there was another bowl there, like right where the Lil'wat place is there. Yeah, that was like 1906 or something like that. Yeah.
And then I was wondering if you could tell us about the story that was in, I think it was the Whistler magazine, about the site just south of Whistler. That is a really old site.
Are you talking about the Rubble Creek?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of my travels and stories have, like, when my dad was still alive, I used to drive him anywhere he wanted to go. Then I was always interested in the village site that I've heard of at Rubble Creek there. So we went driving down that way, and he stopped me and he showed me the borderline there, and he said, well, just up here there's an old village site there, and that's where all our people are. The wolf pan is covered from the rubble there. And so from there, I knew that they're there, so there was a lot of other stuff there. So when they dropped Daisy Lake Dam down for us to walk around the beach there, I found a big spearhead in there, and like about 10 feet under the, when the water dropped there. Just, so that's what I found there, and stories just kept coming, and then he started telling me about the Black Tusk there, and a few of our families know about Black Tusk there at Kanat. That's where the thunder rests there. And John Skye from here, he was a medicine man. He used to spend a lot of his time there, and my dad said, "This is our borderline here," and then they kind of described like all the mountain areas. So you cannot move the mountains; they're always there. And that's our borderline there for our traditional territory between the Squamish and Lil'wat. And one year I was, I don't know, hanging around there, I guess there, and then all of a sudden people came there and he said, "We found a skull here." And I looked at them and I didn't believe them, so he kind of described the skull as like in a bank there where they're pushing the road up the rubble there, then the skull came rolling down, and it's one of our old people there. And so we've got that skull, and first we sent it to the RCMP and our ARC branch, and it came back, and now we got it in our graveyard. So like that's like evidence of our people that been buried there. That was a while back. Anyways, back in like around '83 or something like that when we got it back. Yeah.
So that's a whole slide area, and there was a village then that used to be there that's now under that slide.
Yeah, like some of our Lil'wat hunters were hunting around there just above there when the slide came down there, and it was like around 1858. And then when the slide came down, and that's when in that period of time, that's when it happened. Yeah.